I'm searching the web for the latest gaming news. Searching GameZillaMedia.com. Downloading headline.
Alexander, what about this monster story of yours?
Download complete.
All right, topic number 1. We have some Switch games seemingly won't support cloud saves after the big announcement of cloud saves. We're now finding out it is only going to be certain games and not others. And basically, I think why we wanted to talk about this is Nintendo Online is already a huge question mark. The Nintendo Direct that we were supposed to get, that we believed to be coverage of the Nintendo Online service, was delayed due to an earthquake. Earthquake, was that it, right?
It was an earthquake. Yeah, they got hit with a typhoon a couple weeks ago, and then the earthquake happened like hours before they were going to do the Direct.
Right. So, with that, we still don't know a lot, but some things have leaked out because of the delay, and one of those is this strange situation where some games aren't going to be supported, and it starts to fragment. It starts to create some confusion around this as far as like what is, what's not, and the marketing on the back of the boxes of the games. Some stating that they do support cloud saves, some say nothing, but they're games that you would believe should support cloud save, like let's say Mario Odyssey or Breath of the Wild, things that don't necessarily rely on a server-based game. Not that there's a ton of those out there for the Switch, but still, I thought it was interesting that before the system even launches, before anything's even really revealed, we find out that there's going to be compatibility issues with first-party games, is what it looks like.
Yeah.
And Nintendo has responded finally to this article was from IGN, and they hadn't heard from Nintendo. Nintendo has responded and saying part of the reasoning, Nintendo's official statement explains, to ensure fair play in relation to online games. So the vast majority of Nintendo Switch games will support save data cloud backup. However, in certain games, this feature would make it possible, for example, to regain items that had been traded to other players or revert to a higher online multiplayer ranking that had been lost. To ensure fair play, save data cloud backup may not be enabled for such games. And that part confuses me because
so it's multiplayer. Pretty much anything multiplayer is not going to be cloud safe.
Yeah, but ranking is server based.
But I bet it's not for Splatoon.
And that's my that's my question: is the infrastructure that they've built on some of these games so janky that you could actually exploit this?
I mean, we already know that the Splatoon ranking system is just a guy with yarn that puts your name to a pin in your ranking because people are cheating and getting to the top and all this other stuff. So the ranking system's already awful.
I love your examples.
Yeah,
they are the best in the industry. Yeah. They are the best in the industry.
I'm not lying. That's what it is. I've seen it firsthand. They ran out of yarn one day. Asked me to go get some.
I just think that this coming out ahead of the other information is it's disappointing. It's this isn't a huge deal. I'm not sitting here trying to be like, oh my god, what a disaster. I don't personally care if my data is cloud saved or not. I have cloud save functionality on my PS4 and my Xbox, and I rarely use it. I don't even think about using it. So I mean, it's not a huge deal to me, but it is a huge deal to some people. And to find out that Pokemon, the new Pokemon Let's Go, will not support this is, because they're worried about item replication. To me, that just seems like you knew that Nintendo Online was coming. You've known it since the day you launched the Switch, since before you launched the Switch. But we knew that Nintendo Online was something that was coming eventually, and you knew cloud save was going to be a item for that service, and yet Pokemon Let's Go can't support it. And that's where I'm it's not a Capcom game that can't support it. It's like direct games that I'm surprised can't support it. And maybe they can correct it down the road, but this is just kind of questionable to me. It puts another little just kink in the chain of like, I just don't trust this. I don't see what they're about to deliver being this amazing thing. It's just gonna be another mess that Nintendo attempts to call their online service, and that it's disappointing.
How big of an issue is this since the memory of the Switch is already quite low?
Well, I
so
mean,
like being able to save stuff on the cloud opens up the ability to put a lot more onto your Switch that you could save and then recall and stuff like that, right?
No, I mean, you're talking save files, which are minimal in size. I don't think you're really worrying about too much. The problem is,
what if you're Juno Jade though, and you save like every 4 minutes, so your save files are giant?
I think even when I was playing Skyrim, I was saving new files almost every time, and it doesn't amount to much.
It doesn't eat up. Okay, I didn't know.
It's not eat up size. It's backup, right? It's that data. You drop your Switch, it breaks, or your Switch gets stolen, you buy a new one or something like that. To be able to log in and pull those saves back so that you don't have to start a game over,
right,
is the key piece here. And a game like Pokemon seems to me like a very that's something that I would love to have that feature for, in that sense that if something went wrong and I had put hundreds of hours into this game collecting all these Pokemon, that I could recover, and yeah, we could see Pokebank down the road and we could see things, but this is just, it's supposed to be simple. And when you go, again, you don't have to look far. You just go look at PS4, Xbox, and go, their cloud service works for all their games.
This is just another example of Nintendo just being behind the ball. Everybody's talking about this Direct and I want to see what Nintendo Online's all about. I want to see what Nintendo Online's all about. I mean, here's the bottom line. We know 90% about Nintendo Online already. There's nothing else to talk about. It's going to be play online, cloud save backups with exceptions, and some free retro games. It's an interesting territory with Pokemon Let's Go specifically, because every other Pokemon game to date, portable Pokemon game to date, has saved on the cartridge, right? And obviously that, maybe the read-write functionality just is not in these Switch cartridges. You cannot write these Switch cartridges. And if that's the case...
Do we know for sure that's the case?
We don't. I'm saying, but if that is the case, if it's not the case, then this is completely unexcusable. Splatoon 2 not being server-based is also... So it's not server-based. You can't use the cloud storage to save it because they're afraid of people manipulating the save file or whatever, recovering old backups. You can't use the SD card to save it because they're worried about people gaining root access to the Switch and hacking it. How do you come out with a system that literally has no secure way? You've built nothing secure. You don't have your SD card secure. You obviously don't have the write capability secure. You don't have your online cloud secure. What are you doing with saves? Because honestly,
sounds a lot like Dreamcast.
Yeah, honestly, I'm sitting here. I'm sitting
15 minutes.
And I even think about it when I take my Switch to work. When I take my Switch, I take my Switch with me everywhere. But if I take it somewhere new, right, it's sitting in the car in a parking garage after Deadite and I went, to a nice city downtown, to watch a wrestling event yesterday. I'm thinking, am I going to be okay if I lose all my Zelda data? I'm like, yeah, I'll get over it. If I play it again, I play it again. I'm probably never going to resurface my current save file and play again. So if I lose it, I guess. But Pokemon specifically, this has never, ever been an issue. And this is an issue that's been created because of the way the console operates, which is just a bad... It's just bad business.
Yeah, this is the problem, is that it comes back to the architecture of the system and the problems they're having with it. And so I got to correct myself because I misspoke just a second earlier. The Breath of the Wild and Odyssey do have the note on the back that says a Nintendo Switch Online membership sold separately is required for save data cloud backup. But the pages and the released artwork for games like Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and Pokemon, like we were saying, do not. And there's other games out there that are questionable, right? We don't know. And so to me, it's when you're about to roll out a system this month, right? It's still coming out. I'm not crazy, right? It's still coming out this month. So
unless there's another
there's
earthquake.
So much just cloudy confusion around it that to me, I don't like it. And the only thing that concerns me is that we watch systems like the Dreamcast. And I'm not saying Sega was healthy when this happened, but you watch systems that were blatantly shown how non-secure they were, and the lifespan of those systems suffered.
So is this the Nintendo Switch just being behind the ball in, I guess, what could be considered non-cartridge based technology and saves, or is this just they rushed the Switch so fast because of how poorly the Wii U did, they just overlooked some of this stuff that they should have caught?
It could have been the rush of the system, sure, but realistically, it is the architecture of the system, the way the CPU is designed and the flaws it has, the way, like you said, the SD card slot and the root, being able to root a system, like they don't have the protection in place that a lot of these other companies do, and it's surprising from a company that is so protective of their stuff that this somehow slipped through the cracks. I don't know.
But then again, our saved data is not their stuff.
True.
True. So it's the core problem with this is Nintendo's ability to wrap their head completely around an encryption that's unique and, I don't say unbreakable, but a big enough deterrent so they don't have to worry about it. I mean, I get the SD card thing, right? I get it. The Wii was hacked in 4 seconds when it was launched, using the memory card and using a launch title at that. Twilight Princess plus a memory card meant your Wii became a Raspberry Pi before a Raspberry Pi was a thing. Yep. And it was idiot-proof. You could do it in minutes. They didn't want that to happen again. I get it. But now you're putting the save data in a cloud that you own and control, and you still can't stop me from deleting, I lost 3 ranked matches in Splatoon, so I guess I'm going to delete my save file, pull it back from the cloud, and now I'm back to my rank. How stupid is that? How do they not have a way to say, no, you delete your save file on your console, that deletes it from the cloud, you're SOL. Like, just stupid stuff, but it
makes me worry about Nintendo Online. Because you'd think with Nintendo Online, a lot of this stuff should go server-based.
You'd think. But I mean, they've been behind the ball. And I get it. Nintendo's core audience, their core desire and love is to be a portable gaming system for you and your friends to play on the couch and do whatever. But they're never good. The glass ceiling they've got right now, it's covered in red and it says Nintendo. Like the only thing holding them back from really becoming Nintendo again, like Nintendo, the beast, big N, is themselves. They've put themselves in a box, and this is just another stupid thing that says, look we don't know how to make this work like everybody else does, so I hope your Switch doesn't break because you're losing all your Pokemon.
And that's the problem I have, is that everything has cloud-based now. I mean, we have Google Drive, we have Dropbox. We have you can look anywhere. My phone has cloud backup. My computer has cloud backup.
My gaming mouse has cloud backup.
Your gaming mouse, you actually can save some of your. You're right. You're 100% right. And so to me, I just can't fathom how your handheld device, this device you built that you want people to take around with them. Yes, you can play it at home, but I take it everywhere with me. This device that is more prone to being damaged and broken or stolen and stuff like that, and you can't offer me a complete solution for a cloud backup system in this day and age where everybody offers some form of cloud backup features, and that's where I'm just like, why do we keep seeing the same thing happen where it's just Nintendo, like you said, being behind? It's like, well, eventually you just got to stop being behind. Eventually you just got to realize it's not hard for someone for us, a smaller podcast, to sit there and look at it and be like, hey, I can see the industry and see cloud-based everything. I mean, we work at IT, cloud-based is a major function of our daily lives when it comes to work, and you can't make it work on your system. It's unacceptable. All right,
Deadite. Since we're gonna stop crapping on Nintendo now because we can do it forever. Picture this scenario.
I'm picturing it. My imagination station is up and running.
You've purchased yourself, aka Poké-L, Let's Go Eevee or Pikachu.
Pikachu was purchased
on the 16th.
Mm-hmm.
Hours are spent. Probably 100 hours are spent between that and an arbitrary date of December 8th.
Yeah.
December 8th, she's walking down the stairs to the Nintendo Lounge. She drops, breaks what is now her Switch, and she's like, it's okay, I'm sorry, we'll get another one. I just want to get my Pokemon back. How does that conversation go when there's nothing saved and the data's unrecoverable?
So here's how the conversation goes. Listen, lady, just like every other time I told you not to break that because you'd lose all your monsters, you've broken that. Now you've lost all your monsters. And that'd be the end of that conversation.
Would there be tears?
Oh, there'll be okay. She could drop it right now with no Pokemon on it, and she would be emotionally devastated about breaking the Switch. Because I'm super careful with it. If she broke it, she would be so upset. But yeah, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that that's not something that can be solved, because before it, like, I will only take one Pokemon game at a time out of my house, because like, oh, what if I lose my DS or something? I don't want to lose all my Pokemon. But if it's not going to be cartridge based, if you break that system, you really are in trouble. There's no popping the game out and getting your monsters off of it. So
right, well, like Invalid, another fan of the show, like he traded in his Pokemon game, thinking he transferred all of his Pokemon to his Pokebank before he did that. Found out he didn't. He went back to the store and like they went through like 30 games and popped them into a DS to find which one was his so that he could recover it. And he rebought the game back from them after trading it in. Like, he was able to at least do that.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to do that anymore. And it's just, yeah, it's silly when it's like, oh, I broke my phone. Verizon sends me a new one. I hit 2 buttons, and my phone is back to the exact form it was, before I dropped it. Same with my computer.
Especially
same with
since she's caught all of them.
yeah.
Right? The second she catches that last one and she's completed it, she just like throws her hands up because she's like excited, and then accidentally drops the Switch and loses everything.
And it's not just hers either. It's
Right.
hers. It's yours.
Yeah.
Did you let your nephew play? Do you have any
Right.
Pokemon? Like, it's everybody's.
So the thing is this is a new unique problem that didn't exist before in Pokemon, because it was a cartridge based save. And I understand that it's super important for the Pokemon community to not have rampant cheating, because when I played competitively online, it drove me nuts that I was running into all these hacked Pokemon and things like that. But there just has to be a better solution than no cloud saves, unless they're going to come out with a Pokebank that is included in the price of your Nintendo Online. Maybe I could see that as a viable thing I'd be fine with, but
we won't see Pokemon Bank on this game until weeks before the next one comes out.
This is a toilet Pokemon game. I'm not even that worried about it.
I'm super excited.
I mean, I'm buying it. But.
I like toilets.